Hey everybody, this is Tim Charron, and welcome to my brand new podcast called The Charron Zone. Blah, 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 blah. Well, welcome to The Charron Zone. I am super excited because I have one of my dear friends on here, the illustrious Miss Ayla Brown. How are you, Ayla?
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you for being on here. I'm looking at your biography, and some of the things, I mean, we've been friends and I've been watching you and following your career, but I just want to tell people some of the stuff that you've done in your not just your career, but your life. It's pretty amazing. The Army Golden Knights jump team, you were on the Boston College basketball team, which I think is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I was going to say the Army Golden Knights, I only jumped out of an airplane with them once. I'm not on their team, but I still got to do that, which is pretty cool.
That is so rad. Yeah, I just jumped out of like a crappy little airplane in Homestead, Florida. I didn't get to do anything cool like that. Where did you do that?
I did that in Tennessee. It was incredible.
That's
awesome. It was awesome.
How many times have you jumped?
Oh, only once.
That one time? Yeah, cool. That's all I needed. I was like, yeah. I did it.
Yep.
And for anybody listening, I'm outside in Miami Beach on the balcony, so there might be ambient noise. So
we all feel really bad for you.
Yeah, hopefully it would be more more parrots and stuff, and less traffic and more beach noise. So let's see. You played for Boston College, which is absolutely amazing. You were a correspondent for national news programs. Let's see. You're the new morning show co-host of Country 102.5 in Boston.
Yeah.
That is very, very cool. And let's see. You have Heroes in Hometowns and Let Love In as your 2 full-length albums.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
There's a lot of crazy stuff on that bio. All things I'm super proud of. Those are great. Some of them. You were on American Idol. You performed at the Orange Bowl, Boston Pop's 4th of July, Spectacular Fox and Friends. I remember seeing that. Also, tell me just a little bit about Monday Night Football, because I saw that. And that was really great. Still one of my hands down top 5 moments of my life, being able to do that. Well, it was for the Patriots. That's the number one reason. Yeah. And being a hometown girl, I grew up in Rentham, which is the next town over from Foxborough, where the Pats play. And being asked to sing on Monday Night Football was a dream come true for this Patriots fan, and just for a girl who's been watching the Patriots on TV, and then to think, oh my gosh, I'm singing and it's being broadcast on TV. That's even better. So it was a pinch me moment for sure.
I'm literally getting goosebumps out. It's 80 degrees out and I'm getting goosebumps. And you kill it. I'm not just saying that because you're my friend and because you're on my podcast, but you are an amazing singer. So everybody, if you don't follow Ayla, make sure you follow her and check out some of these events that she's sang at, and go buy her records, because she's
go ballistic.
Yeah,
just do it. Just do it. Hey, I can't continue to do it if people out there, don't care.
Exactly. It's all about the fans. It is, my whole life and philosophy is, it's really all about the fans, because otherwise for us it would all just be one boring rehearsal.
That too.
Yeah. If we have nobody to play for.
Yeah. That's a good way of thinking about it. It's a really sad way, unless your rehearsals are so fun that you just want to keep going and going. But yeah, I always say to people that if you're not making money, it's just a hobby. The minute you start making money doing what you love, it becomes a career. So I've been really blessed to make my hobby into a career that's still withstanding, and I'm really proud of that. It's been almost 14 years since I was on American Idol. I was 17 years old at the time, and a lot's changed in terms of the music business, the way people listen to music and consume music, the way people even see shows, and it's just everything is different, and I've had to grow and evolve just like every other musician. But the difference is, back when I was on the show,
They didn't have YouTube. They didn't even have Facebook. That was when you had to get a college account to join Facebook when it first came out in 2006 or 7. And so the only way you could become a fan of someone, follow them, you couldn't even follow. There was nothing to follow. So you would just have to support either by going to a show or buying a CD in a store. So I remember my first record ever when I was just 17 years old was in every FYE, every Strawberries, Best Buy, and Walmart throughout the entire country, because that's how people listened and consumed music back in the day.
Yeah.
Now it's totally different. I don't even know where those CDs are, probably in some like dollar rack somewhere, and that's just the way life goes. But I've been really blessed that people still, want to purchase a CD at one of my shows or download or whatever. It's been different, but I love it.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great way to run your business, and I'm constantly saying every 5 seconds that if you're in the music business, and like you said, if you're making money doing it, and especially if you're doing it for a living like we do, it's a business, and you have to. That's the whole purpose of this whole podcast.
Good. It's awesome you're doing that.
Oh, thank you. I've been doing this professionally for about 10 years, and I've had to learn a lot. And I didn't have people to kind of guide me along. Actually, one of the main things that I did, I remember moving to Nashville, living in a crappy little apartment, having no money, and trying to I decided I was going to make my living just by playing music when I moved to Nashville.
I was going to say, that was silly.
Yeah.
You can't pay your bills in Nashville.
No, it's so hard. I had to hustle so hard to get, literally, there was a place called Rockstar Bar that I would play all night, 3 or 4 hours on a bar stool, and I would make $25. And so on and on and on. But I used to listen to podcasts through that whole time. I still do. But like CD Baby's podcast, they have a great DIY podcast, and to get ideas, because I didn't really have anybody around me that was kind of trying to do the same thing. So that's why I have the show, to help people along on their path. So this is a perfect segue. If you could explain, because this is interesting to me. So you're on American Idol, you're world famous at 17, and then what was the path? Because I know that there's got to be a lot of ups and downs in between.
Yeah.
Coming off of American Idol must have been a bit high, and then how did that go? What did you do? What did you go through?
So I always tell people who ask, how did you get started? And truly it was with the national anthem. When I was 12 years old, I sang the anthem for the first time, and it was at my 6th grade graduation. And what I didn't realize was that someone who was the PA announcer at the high school girls basketball games at King Philip in Rentham heard my anthem and was like, hey, do you want to do a game sometime? Sure, why not? So I went there, I sang a game. It was my first time ever doing it, like, really in front of people, and there were probably 30 fans in the stands. But I remember I got the PA announcer called me back over to the desk and was like, hey, you forgot your envelope, your check. And I'm like, what?
Whoa.
And I opened it up, and it was for $12. I got paid to sing, and I was 12 years old. And I remember running to my mom, and still to this day I remember what I wore, and I was like, Mom, I can do this for a living. Like, this could be my job, right? And she's like, if you work hard enough, maybe it could be someday. And that's when the bug hit, but I didn't know anything. I just knew that there was a feeling there that singing in front of anyone gave me, and I had never experienced that before. When I was in high school, the only outlet I had to sing was to join the school chorus and the a cappella group and something called chamber choir. It was all during the school day. There was no, after school commitments. And that was the reason I was able to do it, because I was so into basketball and sports. That was the only time I could carve out, was during the school day, to express myself and to sing and learn how to sing with other people in harmony, which I have found later on in life being so important, is to learn how to sing with other people. And then when I was a senior in high school, my mom was like, you already have a basketball scholarship. I was going to Boston College to play ball. And she's like, you've loved to sing. Why don't you just try out? Jordan's Furniture is doing this like competition where the winner is going to be able to skip the entire line at Gillette Stadium. You should do it. And I'm like, all right.
Jordan's Furniture, very Southern New England reference.
Yes,
I'm from
sorry,
Rhode Island.
right. It's a furniture store. And they selected 50 people. I was one of the 50 people who got an opportunity to sing in front of the judges. I don't remember who they were. I was 17 at the time. And I sang a song, and I did not make it to the next round. I didn't make it to the top 10, which means I didn't make it. I didn't win. I didn't get to skip the line at Gillette Stadium when the real American Idol people came through. And I was really down and devastated. So I was like, I don't want to try out for Idol. And my mom, who's always been super supportive, was like, why not? It's just let's just do it for fun. You never know what the Idol judges are looking for. And I'm so just happy that I listened to Mom, because we stood in line for 18 hours. And when I finally got my 15 seconds to sing, I got a golden ticket, and I kept getting golden tickets until I was on the show. And back in 2006, season 5, which was the highest watched American Idol season, I placed 13th overall in front of all of those thousands of people who tried out. So my main mission is to say, me singing the anthem at 12 years old and catching the bug and still having like defeats along the way, because I had tried out for other talent competitions. I never won anything. Like, I wasn't ever the best, but I kept trying. And I think that that's the purpose of this whole podcast as well, especially in the music business, because you cannot just say, oh, I did it once, it didn't work, I'm not going to do it again. That's not how life works, and that's not how my career's worked. And so I can always go back into the piggy bank of moments and opportunities and say, well, it didn't work the first time, but like this time it did, and look where it led to. So that's just a little quick story on kind of where I believe my journey started, and it certainly hasn't ended. I'm really proud of all the stuff I've done in between, and the resume that I've built over the past 12 years or so is just incredible. And I don't know what's next, but I do know that there are some things that I'm very proud of.
Yeah. Well, that's a fantastic lesson in perseverance, and just exactly what you said. I mean, that goes for everything in life. Of course, everything when it comes to business is you can't just try something, once or twice or 3 times, or you can't just, if you really want something, you can't just go for it 2 or 3 times and say, I tried, because we all know that it's the perseverance and the consistency that lets you win in the end. And what I'd also like to know is, like, how was so you do Idol, you do all that stuff, and you're on this big high, and then I don't know what then you went to play basketball, right?
I was going to say, the music kind of halted in a way. I played 4 years of ACC college basketball, which was also
that's so rad,
badass. Like, I look back on my life and I'm like, I can't believe I even did that, first of all. And not only that, for the ACC at Boston College, the best school in New England, and I was a starter. Like, it's not like I was just sitting the bench and just giving people water. Like, I am still, to this day, I think one of the top leading scorers in the state of Massachusetts. And it's just nuts that I don't even own a pair of basketball shoes now. I don't really play, but I love the game. I still respect the game, and I respect the fact that I played it. It's pretty cool.
That's
to think
amazing.
About it.
Do you have any highlights from playing, or just the overall experience?
The overall experience was amazing. Still to this day, I remember my freshman year against Clemson. I had 18 points, and every foul shot I took went in. I was 10 for 10 from the line and had 8 points on the floor. And it was just pretty much every shot that I got an opportunity to shoot went in. And it was just one of those moments where I'm like, Man, I'm a freshman. I just scored 18 points. What the heck?
That is so awesome.
Yeah, it was
that
very
is
nice
so
feeling.
freaking awesome. I'm such a sports jock, sports junkie. I still play, hardcore beach volleyball, and
Nice.
I love it. And I watch, I follow the NBA so much, so I just think that is just amazing that you did it. It's
Thank
super,
you.
super cool. So, what are some of the things that you learned when you went to school, and then of course I know that you moved to Nashville at some point.
Yeah, I did.
So how are those ups and downs? I know that you've done a lot of the building of your career yourself. I mean, you went and you booked gigs, and you went on all these TV shows, and so how did that go? And
how did it happen?
Was it tough? Was it tough switching? Basically, I guess my question is, was it tough, going on Idol, having that big spark, and then going and playing basketball, which is got to be a big high. And then was it tough moving to Nashville and then trying to swim with the sharks, basically?
Yeah, so that is kind of in a nutshell what I feel like happened in my life, because I was on American Idol, where 35 million people were watching every single night. And I then went and played college basketball, where I was taking classes in mandatory study hall, mandatory summer school, 80-hour-a-week commitment to basketball, which is fun. But when I have this music bug and want to be on stage, that was hard for my soul, because I knew that I wanted to be in two places at once, but sometimes I couldn't. One thing, though, if this is a business podcast, so one thing in the NCAA contract that we found was that if you've been doing something prior to enrollment and you were making money doing that, then throughout your 4 years of college, you won't lose your eligibility and you can still get paid doing that. So because I was 17 years old and I got paid a little bit of money to do American Idol, and I started doing appearances after I was eliminated from the show, I was then able to continue to do appearances and get paid throughout my 4 years of college. That's a huge key in this whole thing, because that's how I was able to start a retirement account, buy a condo in Boston. I was able to start planning my life during my college career as a 17 to 21-year-old, where most people are just going there to party. I'm starting my financial life where I would be set from the second I graduated.
You see, that's a great lesson. I mean, that's hardcore to be going to school, playing basketball, and
I was gigging as much as I could. That was my goal, because I didn't want my name to become irrelevant. I didn't want people to say, who? Which one was she? It was no, the second I was done with American Idol, I still have the calendars. Do I have them up here? No, I don't. They're downstairs. We didn't have electronic calendars where you just put them on your phone.
Yeah.
So my dad would have the flip calendars, and we'd write out the gigs and where they were and whatever, and I would see these calendars, and I'd have 2 to 3 appearances or gigs a day for an entire month, because I just wanted everyone and anyone to say hi to me. I wanted to thank them for watching me on the show. Massachusetts was so supportive. I was the first person from Mass to be a finalist, so I just wanted to make as much money as I could when I was off the show, and I did.
What kind of gigs? What kind of venues?
Literally anything, from singing at a Little League grand opening to appearing at a 11-year-old's birthday party to a bat mitzvah, outdoor concerts. But then those were what I would consider the smaller gigs. I remember my first gig off of American Idol. I got asked to come and appear at a Catholic girls' school, and it was for third graders. And I went in there, and the kids were just nuts. They were going absolutely nuts. And I still remember, I think I got paid $200 or something to appear. And I was just like, oh my God, that was so fun. I can't believe, first of all, that I'm getting paid to do this. This is fun. These kids are bringing joy to my life. But yeah, I just did as many of those things as possible. But then I also had opportunities to sing with the Boston Pops Orchestra on 4th of July and sing at every Celtics Game 7 when they made it to the playoffs, and all of these other like big time, what I would consider opportunities. So I think it all just balanced out. I graduated with a degree in communications, and that's when I moved down to Nashville because I had a couple people that I knew down there in the Nashville record world, right? And so they brought me down and introduced me to some really great people. And the first time I ever went down to Nashville, I had a meeting with the city of Nashville that someone had gotten me into, and they said, Ayla just sang a couple years ago with the Boston Pops Orchestra for 4th of July. Do you have anyone to sing the national anthem yet for 4th of July? And they're like, no, we're actually still looking. And the person I was with told them, he said, go to YouTube right now and let us know what you think. We have a couple other meetings. I don't even know if we had any other meetings, but we made it seem like super busy. Whatever. Maybe it's smoke and mirrors. Maybe it was the truth. But by the time we got down to the elevator, there was a phone call that came through, and they're like, "This is incredible. We want Ayla to sing with the Nashville Symphony Orchestra on 4th of July."
Wow, that's amazing. So I hate to interrupt you, but I want to dissect this a little bit.
Okay.
Because this is that's why I asked, because
you're getting a weird buzz on your mic line right now.
Is it still happening?
Yeah, but it's okay.
Okay.
It might just be. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
So this is very interesting, and this is what I always try to teach people is when they ask me how to become a more successful independent artist, is those spaces in between. I think it's absolutely amazing and commendable that you get off of American Idol, you're going to school, you're trying to gig as much as possible, you're playing anywhere and everywhere, and then you, of course, take advantage of trying to get high leverage gigs, which is what I call, doing the national anthem for all of those great events and stuff. And then you take your content, because content is king. We were talking before we went on air a little bit about social media and YouTube and your online presence. By the way, I really like your website. And who hosts that? Is it?
Who do I do it? Oh my gosh, what's it called?
I use Host Baby.
It's not Host Baby. It is. Keep naming some.
I don't know, because that's the only
that's
one.
all you use.
That's all I use.
It's one that a lot of people use. I'm not super familiar with it, but I know it enough to be able to update it and to make stuff happen. But I did pay someone to create the look. WordPress is what it is. Sorry.
WordPress. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it looks.
Hold on.
It's really good.
Your mic is pretty bad.
Shit.
I don't know if it's your end or not. I don't hear it when I'm speaking, but I just don't want it to come through and. Oh yeah. What is that?
Is it helping at all?
No, it's even worse.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to try something.
Oh, okay. Wait, that's better.
That's better?
Yeah. I just unplugged mine. Maybe it was mine.
Oh.
It's perfect now. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. Cool.
Okay. Back in action.
All right. And I don't edit anything. I just leave it all in here, so
That's okay.
it's all good. It's raw.
Yeah, truly. That's fine.
So where was I? Okay, I was all excited about your
The website.
Yeah. And I just think that this is a perfect lesson because, people see you on American Idol. People, that follow you, they're like, you went from American Idol to playing basketball, then to all these great things, being on Monday Night Football and then all this stuff and on Fox and Friends and all this stuff. So what I'm trying to make sure that people understand that are in the business is that there's a lot of months and years in between that you're grinding and trying to take advantage of, for you, the exposure that you had on American Idol, of course.
Yes.
And then what you did was you leveraged American Idol into getting a bunch of gigs, and even small gigs. That's how I started playing on bar stools from Key West to up to Miami. I quit my job and moved to Nashville, and then I had to start touring basically bar stools and restaurants.
I
had to go to New England.
Nothing wrong with that, especially tips, cash.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yes. Talking about finances, which is very smart.
Yep.
So, and then I would come back down to the Florida Keys because I could get a bunch of gigs, and I would come down, during the winter months, and that's how I lived in Nashville. I would go out, make as much money as possible, and come back.
I always tell people that too. That's how my Nashville career was. You can't make money in Nashville, but Nashville's amazing for resources. Nashville isn't the end all be all, but it's a great place to challenge yourself, to write songs, to meet great people, and to then take what you've learned and created and go back to where you're a big deal and play those songs and see what people think of them, because they're going to be honest. I mean, you're from up north as well. People will be honest if they like or don't like your stuff, and that's cool too. It's part of being a Northeasterner. That is, a beautiful thing. But yeah.
Well, you're definitely preaching a lot of the same exact things that I preach. So it's fantastic. It's really great to see that this strategy has worked out so well for you, and I'm sure
it's just momentum, man. It's not even a strategy. I can't even say that I can take a piece of paper. I have goals. I mean, not written down here, but I could write down goals and be like, all right, how do I get there? What's the strategy? But I find, and it's tough to give someone who has no name recognition advice, because that's where it starts. You have to, even in a political race, which, kind of been there, done that, it comes down to name recognition. When you go to the polls and you vote, you most likely 85 to 90% of the people who don't follow up on issues and know what the political candidates' issues are that they're running on, they vote on name recognition alone. So how is that different than in the entertainment industry? If people don't know your name, they're not going to, first of all, hire you. They're not going to pay you big bucks. They're going to just say, well, we can get so-and-so to do it for free. But if you have a name that you've been building and using that momentum for many years, and it takes a long-ass time, you can't just wake up one day and say, I believe that I should get paid $800 to do a 3-hour acoustic gig.
Yep.
You're not going to get it until you prove yourself either at that bar, or if you do so many in a few years where you're like, okay, I'm going to move my rate up now. And I feel that way with me. I have this policy where I never try and go down in price. I don't care that I've already done it at a certain price for a client or a person or a group. My goal is to show them how successful it was the first time around, and now that we're going and moving forward, is there any wiggle room for anything else? Because you've already proven yourself that one time. So that's kind of one of my tricks also of the trade, and that would be some big advice. I mean, don't think you're cocky by any means, but you can say hey, I just filled that bar or that venue up, it was sold out, or the barmaid it was a great night for you guys, and a lot of the people were there because I brought them, right? And so usually people are charismatic and they want to help the artist just as much. It's a mutual relationship. So if I find that if you're just honest with them and you kind of tell them your thoughts and feelings, and it's not coming from an agent or someone, I found that if you directly speak with whoever you're working with as the artist yourself, people respect that too.
Yeah. Well, it's a very smart business move. I mean, you're looking at it as a business, and you're also looking at their business as a business. And if you're bringing in a lot of people, they're making a lot of money. It's that simple. And one thing that you said that I think is great, and I preach this too, is you use the word client, because everybody listening, those are parrots. It's a business, and the sooner that you can think about it as a business, the better off you're going to be.
Great. Sorry, that's my dog now. No, it's true. The sooner you can think of it as yourself a business, the better
you
off
are a business.
that
Exactly.
your career is going to be.
Yep. And I consider everyone who books me, I consider them my client.
Yeah.
In business, and I want to make them happy. I want to, put on a great
Robbie,
show,
can we get break?
all that stuff. But they're not. I don't look at them as people who are just booking me for a show. I look at them as my clients. I'm there to work for them.
Thanks. Sorry, my boyfriend Rob is being the best boyfriend ever and making sure the dog is getting taken care of.
Tell Rob that I said hi.
He says hi. Jim says hi. Hi. And that's also something that's been new for me too, by the way, is like singing and having a new business venture with my boyfriend who, in terms of like name recognition or even just like scale on the spectrum of me having all these crazy things that I've done over the past 12 years, and then him being more in, I don't want to say a beginner, but just at a different stage right now.
Yep.
It's been amazing the way that we've been able to like meet in the middle on this, because I'm now doing bars and restaurants that I never did before. And you know what? At first I hated it because I'm like, I hate the 3-hour gigs. Like, I hate doing cover songs. I hate. But then I was like, wait a minute. I'm actually like having fun. And we're getting paid well, and I get to sing with my boyfriend, who I absolutely love, and that to me is a gift as well. And not only is he challenging me, but I'm also challenging him, and not only is he supporting me, but I'm supporting him. So it's kind of this really cool way that we're like both solo artists. We're taking as many gigs as we can solo, but we're also taking stuff together too, because hey, whatever we can do to pay the bills and get our music out there, whether it be our solo stuff or our duo stuff, we don't care. I mean, it's art, and we're happy doing it. And so it's been a fun 2 years that we've known each other, and so I had to give him a little shout out because his name is Rob Bellamy.
Rob Bellamy. Where can we check out you guys together as far as online?
You can still just go to his website, robbellamymusic.com, or mine, aylabrown.com. We don't have a combined page. The only thing we have combined right now is an Instagram at Ayla and Rob. That's it, though. That's it.
All right, so Instagram, Ayla and Rob.
Yeah.
Well, that's super cool. I love what you were talking about as far as momentum. Momentum is extremely important, and I really like the idea of, looking at it as you have all these things that you really cherish that you get to do, like, of course, performing. I mean, we, as performers, once we get to a certain point and we get paid to perform for these really fun events or these really fun festivals or shows, it's good to keep your eye on that and appreciate it like you are.
It's the drug. It's a drug, though. It's a drug. I mean, let's be serious.
Yes.
I don't do drugs, but it's a drug. It's mine. That's the thing. It's like it gives you that high that gets you to the next gig and to the next show, and it's a good one every single time.
Keep chasing
and when
it.
it's not as good, you're like, okay, well, how can I get it to where it was good? It's weird. It's so weird. But
ever since you sang the national anthem for $12,
12 years old, man, I was like, let me get that $12 again.
Let me get that $12.
How can I do it?
Yep. But that feeling, that irreplaceable feeling, that irreplaceable high of performing in front of people is it's a great thing to chase and to turn it into your business. So I'm really proud of you. It's amazing to watch everything that you've been doing, and I miss our nights out on Broadway.
I know. Those were fun. Those are really cool.
Yeah, every once in a while, like those pictures will pop up on Facebook, like memories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. No, we've known each other for a long time, and I'm proud of everything that you've accomplished too. And the entertainment industry is a tough one and a hard one, and like at the end of the day, I'm so proud of my friends, but it's also like we're a competition as well. Like who's going to get an opening gig at Indian Ranch or wherever. It's like
Right.
That's the sucky part about what we do is we do support each other, and I will forever support anyone who does this because it's hard.
Yeah.
And I'm always so proud of someone who gets an opportunity. Of course, I'm like, darn it, I'm a bit jealous. But at the same time, I know how much work it took to probably get that opportunity because I've been there. I've done it. I get it.
Yeah.
So I think that if you, like we've both said, if you can make a hobby into a career, you're doing something right. I don't care if you get paid $12 or $1,200. Doesn't matter.
Amen. Could not have said it better myself. So tell us about your new venture. What's going on? Speaking of being envious of an amazing opportunity, this is so exciting for you.
I can assume you're talking about the radio opportunity. Okay. So I now am a morning show co-host for Country 102.5 in Boston, and I absolutely love it. I feel like this is another pinch me moment in life where I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
And the opportunity came about, and I feel like I was meant for this, and I wish it had started 10 years ago. But this, I think, is the right time in my life. I get to listen to country music, talk about it every day. I'm with the best host, Jackson Blue, on the planet. He is a mastermind behind the control board. He's able to not only have a conversation with me, but with the listeners, also make sure that the computer's running right, the levels are good, he's doing sound effects. I mean, he's orchestrating magic back there, and I just sit behind on the other side of the table with my these headphones on, and I'm looking at him like in awe, right? So the team of people that I work with is just awesome. And who knows what the next thing is that's going to be in my life, but I do know that radio is fun, and I'm just like on the total opposite side because I've been that independent artist who's messaged those programming directors and those DJs being like, I have a song out, do you mind taking a listen to it? And now people are like, hey, Ayla, I have a song out, do you mind taking a listen to it? And I'm like, man, does that feel like a full circle moment? I get it. I've been there. That's very
amazing.
Nice. Yeah.
That's so amazing. So you're Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 9 a.m. So I have really early mornings. I wake up at about 4:20. I'm out the door at 4:35, and I'm on air every day, every weekday, and very blessed. It's
Everybody tune in, and can people call in? Is that a thing?
Heck yeah. Definitely call in. Yeah, we do a fun contest. You can just call in and say hi.
Yeah.
You can, if you're not local to Boston, which is totally fine, you can stream us. You can go on country1025.com and listen live. We have an app, the Country 102.5 app. There are so many different ways right now that you can listen to our show. It's like not an excuse to say, unless you don't wake up early, and then I get it. But other than that, there's no excuse.
I mean, 9 o'clock, everybody can,
I know
everybody
for musicians,
can listen.
Believe me, that's been a transition for me. But you got to do what you got to do.
I think it's awesome. I think
you know
it's
what? You'll
super cool.
appreciate this. It's my first ever steady paycheck that I've ever had in my whole life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I've never been there, and I'm just like...
You're glowing
every two weeks I get something in my bank account? What?
Wow.
That's nuts for me, because every day I've had to hustle to, put money in that bank account. So now to just kind of, do my job, and hopefully doing it well, I love what I do, but...
And then you and Rob can do gigs on the weekends or, whenever.
Yep, and we're on our way to go watch the Red Sox, our first Red Sox game of the season. It's just good to be back home in Boston. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so awesome. Well, I'll be up there this summer for a few weeks, and we'll definitely have to get together. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you for... Who is that?
It's my real boyfriend. This is Brait the Great. He's my little Pekingese puppy, but he was by my feet. I thought I'd at least say hi. Let you guys say hi.
How precious. precious. It looks like a stuffed animal.
Thank you so much for having me on, Tim. I mean, even though I'm just seeing you via Skype, definitely hit me up when you're back in the area.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely looking forward to it. And if you can thank you again for the stories and for the advice, because I think it's so important. It's really important. Just to recap, like I said, back when I first moved to Nashville, the only thing that I had to rely on was podcasts and blogs and stuff like that. So I really think that your stories and your successes, people can look up to that and learn from it, and maybe not have to go through so many trials and tribulations on their way to being a successful musician. So
just learn the national anthem. Learn the anthem. That's
exactly.
it. It's easy. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Tim.
All right.
Thank you,
remind us where
listening.
we can find you.
Go to aylabrown.com, and then while you're there, just explore, have fun, buy something if you want. If not, check out all the stuff on digital too, like Spotify, Apple, iTunes, the whole 9 yards. Would love to connect with you also on socials.
All right. Thank you, Ayla, so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for being on the Charron Zone.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye.